Go to breathefume.com/weighing in and use the promo code weighing in to get 10% off right now.
By the time we were in like round 3, I was having this conversation with Cormier. I was like, who fucking knows who won? Who knows who's winning this? Because
He's talking about Carla and Rose, by the way.
Okay.
this is nothing's happening. Like, it's when nothing's happening. This is my number one problem with scoring. The way we have scoring with MMA, that could, either one of those rounds could be a 10-9 round or a round where someone beats someone pretty cleanly and lands a lot of shots. Could also be a 10-9 round. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That's great. That's a flaw in the scoring system.
Time to update the program.
Yeah, we need a better system. We don't need boxing system. We need something that it's like it shouldn't have anything to do with 10-9. There should be a bunch of factors like volume, the amount of strikes, submissions, takedowns,
Damage.
all the damage, all that shit added up, and it should be a totally different. I mean, we should have scores like 57, 96 for one round, 120 for another round, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Because that's more indicative of what's actually happening in a fight than 10-9.
Yeah.
But wait, can I go first? Can I go first, John? Can I go first?
Go, yeah, maybe.
First off, we're saying that the judging sucks. And it's 10-9, easy numbers. Now you want to mix in 60-42? Like, you're already mad.
94.
You're already mad that they can't do normal math of 10 and 9, and sometimes a 10-8. Now you're going to give them the opportunity to fuck it up even more? Look, I love Joe. Joe has been... He's helped this podcast out a lot. He's helped us out a lot. He's led us in a lot of directions. I reach out to him all the time. He's always giving me the greatest advice when it comes to stuff. I agree we should not, and John, and we've continued to say this, if you want to get rid of that system of the 10-9, add the half-point system. That's it. Keep it still. It's still a boxing type system, but it's 10-9 and a half. So you only won by half a round. So they can't fuck up the adding the scores in the box that much. That's the only thing that I would only take away from that, John, is each round was so close with the Rose and Carla. It was so close because they didn't do shit. I would also say start giving them both 10-10s. If it ends up being a fucking 10-10 because they're a draw because they didn't do shit. I did. Exactly. You have rounds like that.
I scored the first round of 10-10. I trying to remember, I think I had 1 or 2 10. I was like, no one deserves an extra point in that. No one did anything, and it doesn't matter. Oh, she landed one shot. There was no effect in the fight. No one did enough. I gave it 10-10s. But what Joe said is, and this is what needs to be, everything that he said, it needs to be based upon volume and the submission attempts and the take. It is. That's what the criteria has. You know this now that we've talked forever and stuff. Everything is that the judges are looking at is exactly what he's talking about. And this is why when I say the Carla versus Rose fight, I gave it a 10-10 because there wasn't anything to go on. There wasn't submission attempts. There wasn't volume. There wasn't power. There wasn't anything. And so he's right. No one should get that extra point in that. And that's why the 10-10 is there. It is unfortunate that for the most part, regulatory bodies, commissions have stressed to their judges, we don't like to see 10-10s, and they don't. And I understand why they say it, but there comes certain fights you go, that's a fight. And it's always, every time, Josh, it's the fight that sucks that you could look and see a 10-10. It's not the exciting fight. When you have things going on, there's differences, and you're supposed to be good enough to understand those differences of who's getting the better in the fight. But when you have a shitty fight, you can have a 10-10.
I wish they would use them more because that was the first thing that I thought of. That's why I brought it up. I was saying that in that Rose fight, there should have been 10-10s given out. There should have been more than one. I think look, one kick, one punch. It's like one air punch, one air kick. Like it was really that shitty.
And this is the sad part when you look at it, and it's when Rose did her interview with the media afterwards, and we talk all the time about, and I said, look, fighters for the most part, they don't understand the criteria. It's unfortunate they don't. They should. And it was real clear that she didn't understand the criteria because she said look at my defense. How do I not get credit for that? It's very clear in the criteria. You get 0 credit for defense. Defense allows you to stay in the fight. Everything within MMA is offensive based. Your offense will determine whether you win that fight. And when you don't have offense, you can't win the fight. It should be that every fighter knows that, but it's clear that even a champion of the world in Rose Namajunas didn't clearly understand that.
Because I've said this 1,000 times. Fighters don't know the fucking rules or the scoring system. They don't know.
Yeah.
I fought longer than a majority of people that I know. John, I don't know shit. I knew, like, don't grab the fence. I poke what was my time that I got to recover. Growing shots, like, I knew all these things, you know? It's like, but those are the things you care about. You don't know, if I get kneed in round 3, you know, versus round 4.5, you know, do I get the win or not? Like, those are the things they don't know. You have fighters all the time looking up. Look, to get back on the scoring system, I think you give more 10-10s because it's usually, like you said, with the fights that suck. Okay, and in that fight, Rosen and Carla, the fight sucked. So give them a 10-10. Okay, on top of that, the half point scoring system. That's as far as I would go because now those rounds that were close, and then now you're only winning by a half point.
Yeah, you can make
a
differential in that. Yeah, and it comes down to this: as you know, I'm going to use Aljamain Sterling. He didn't get
careful, John. Careful, John. I don't want Aljo to start bashing us again.
I'm not bashing him.
He's finally left us alone. His ego's finally tucked away up in his asshole. He's finally left us alone. Leave him alone.
The second round of his fight with Peter Yan, he didn't get 1-10-8. And I was like, you know, okay, if you look at the criteria and stuff, but it's definitely a 10-8-5. And so it shows the difference if you can give that. And you look at the first round, whoever won that, it wasn't 10-9, it was 10-9-5.
No,
you know, and there is differences in what that half point will do for you, but it's getting the people that have the true power in the sport to acquiesce and come along on the ride.
Yeah, because 10-9 is like dinosaur shit, man. Like when you can only throw, you know, just 2 hands, that's easy to judge. But when you have wrestling, judo,
it's
sambo,
not even easy to judge in boxing.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. I think it would make more sense if people understood, like in the Rose fight or any fights that are close rounds, instead of saying like when you have a good fight, oh, the round was close, who do I give it to? Give it a half point. Neither one dominated the round, but it was so close that still keeps the other fighter in it, especially in a 3-round fight situation. A whole point is a lot to give up in 3 rounds, you know? And so I look at it as if you give a half point system, okay, look, that round was close. I lost it by a half point. I can make that up by winning this round convincingly. Boom, back on track.
Sure.
I think it's a good idea, and I understand what Joe is saying. And I love the fact that he keeps bringing this up because there does need to be a change. We need to have a change outside of boxing. We are not boxing. We don't have just 1 and 2 hands to throw. We've got a ton of weapons to throw, elbows, knees. We talked about this earlier on the show. You've got knees to the body, knees to the head. You've got elbows. You've got wrestling. You got judo. You got throws. You got so many different ways to win this fight. It's not boxing. Let's not pretend this is like a boxing scoring system.
As simple as it gets, Josh. We did earlier on the show. I said, look, you got 2 tools, right hand, left hand, 2 targets. MMA 14-12.
Go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code Weighing In, and they'll give you additional spending cash with your first initial deposit.